Hi, welcome to this session on aligning your goals neurologically. My name is Lindley Craig and I'm an NLP trainer and I'll be your guide through this video presentation. So why exactly are we learning about goals and aligning them neurologically, and what really does that mean? Because what I've found is easy to set a goal and it's much more difficult to achieve it. That's why we're learning. When I work with my coaching clients, I see conflicts between what they're trying to achieve and their neurological levels. Without creating goals that are aligned, we find ourselves sabotaging our own efforts, and we don't even realize why we're doing it. For example, an entrepreneur wants to grow her business, but is working from a small office in her home. Can she grow and meet her goal if her environment doesn't support her growth? Another client wants to get a job, but his strategy is to make it to the next interview. When I ask him how he's going to get a job by getting the next interview, it dawned on him that his strategy was focused on getting another interview rather than getting a job. And another client literally lost his identity when his wife asked for a separation. When he moved in with his new girlfriend, he realized he had no idea who he was and began spiraling into panic attacks. He used to be a father. Now what was he? And what exactly did all of these things mean for his new life? Now, those three examples are given to you on three different neurological levels. So it's really important for you to understand what the neurological levels are before we go on and understand how to align them to our goals. Let's take a look. These are the neurological levels. They start at the bottom with environment, then behavior, capabilities, beliefs and values, identity, and the greater whole. Now, the neurological levels were modeled by Robert Dilts from Gregory Bateson's work on logical levels. Neurological levels just happen to be my favorite NLP, all of the NLP tools and techniques. And there is a specific tool that we use in NLP called the neurological level alignment. So we're using that alignment idea with this session on goals. And before we look at this technique and how it relates to our goals, I first want to explain what specifically the neurological levels are, so that you and I have the same knowledge, and then when we go into the alignment process, you'll have a better understanding of what it all means. So let's take a look. Starting with environment. Now, your environment is made up of all of your external surroundings, including people, the food in your refrigerator, the weather, places, noises, and this is the area for us and our neurological level where we gather information about our environment through our five senses. It is the base level of neurological processing, and we use our peripheral nervous system to be able to process this information neurologically. This level also contains our sensations and our reflexive actions. So at this level, we're asking the question where, as in, where are you? So if I have a client that wants to quit smoking, she works in a bar and is constantly surrounded by people who smoke, my question is how can she quit if the people around her, the place she's in, all support the continuation of her habit? Now, the environment is normally the level where people try to make change that often doesn't stick. So for example, they might switch jobs, or they might get a divorce and switch relationships, all trying to mend something that actually occurred on a higher level. So let's look at the higher levels and understand why perhaps maybe this environmental level, this base level, might not be the greatest place to make some changes. Now, this level, our behavior, is our physical reactions to our environment. Our neurology at this level is the result of activity in our motor system, or the cerebellum area, and the coordination of our actions with conscious movement. This level has to do with our habits and our rituals, and the reactions that do not have a conscious strategy. The question we ask at this level is what, as in, what are you doing? So if I have a client that had a ritual of going out every Saturday night with his mates when he was single. And they would drink all night and hook up with a girl in a bar and only come home in the wee hours of the morning, or maybe even when the sun had already come up. Now, when he got married and had children, his ritual that he had with his mates continued. Unfortunately, it did not meet his new goals. So he came to me asking for help with this behavior. Now, and what you'll find out pretty soon is that we never actually change something at the same level it was created. It's easier to change it at a level up. So I helped him to change his particular behavior by going up to the next level on our neurological level alignment to capabilities. Our capabilities have to do with the mental strategies that guide our behavior. This is the level of our map and our mental map of our world. So it is your reality as well as your internal representations, sort of the ideas that you have inside your head. You can create images of things that don't actually exist in your environment at this particular neurological level. And you can also remember conversations that happened in the past. So the part of the brain that's being used here is the cortex of the brain, and it's seen from an observer perspective through accessing cues. At this level, you can select and change your behavior according to your external environment. And so you master how you do something as your environmental conditions change. So at this level, we're asking the question how, as in, how are you going to do it? So remember my example of my client who needed to understand how to change his behavior. Well, this is the level that we changed it at, because we first needed to give him conscious strategies that guided his behavior. And once those these conscious strategies become things that are in his mind that he's doing on a regular basis, they become habitual, they become rituals. Then those conscious strategies end up being unconscious, i.e. back down to behavior. So he changes his behavior by working on his strategies of his behavior. All right, let's look on to the next neurological level, which is beliefs and values. So our values and beliefs are judgments about ourselves as well as the world around us. At this level, we assign meaning to behaviors and to our environment. Our beliefs and values provide motivation that support or inhibit our capabilities and our behaviors. At this level, we're looking at the limbic system, the hypothalamus, and the midbrain area, which is all at work in addition to our emotional and long-term memory. Because of this connection that we have with this level and the autonomic nervous system, and our autonomic nervous system basically controls our heart rate, our body temperature, pupil dilation, etc., beliefs can be seen in physiological functions of the body that are often unconscious. For example, if you're nervous, your heart might beat faster. Or if you're afraid, your skin might have a reaction to it, like the goosebumps on your arms or the hair standing up on the back of your neck. So all of this, the beliefs and values area is mostly associated with our health and healing because our beliefs have such an impact on our physiological bodies. At this level, the question that we're going to ask is why, as in why is it important? All right, let's look at the next level, which is our identity. Our identity is a collaboration of our beliefs and values, our capabilities, and our behaviors. Our sense of identity is our perception of who we are as it relates to a greater whole. It is our role or purpose or mission in life. This level is most related to the reticular formation, which is deep in the brain stem. And this area regulates our alertness. And this level also relates to our immune system, our endocrine system, and of course, sustaining life. A change at this identity has an almost immediate effect on our physiology. And this level, we're asking the question, who? As in, who are you? And lastly, the next and top level of our neurological levels. The greater whole is a sense of being part of something bigger than ourselves. At this level, we are seeking to understand our mission as it relates to the whole. Neurologically, this level is related to the energy that exists between ourselves and others, or the relational field, sometimes called the collective consciousness. At this level, we're going to see distance learning or changes in the environment through prayer or meditation without any direct physical contact. And for this level, we're asking the question, for what? All right. So now that we're on the same level of neurological levels and the same understanding of what they all mean, let's take our goal through the neurological levels. Let's start getting your goal actually aligned. You can choose to work on 1, 2, or 3 goals. It doesn't matter. It just depends on if you're a more detail-oriented person or a more general person, or, how much time you have. The more detailed you are, you'll probably just be able to work on 1 at first if you only have a small amount of time on your hands. So other big picture people can probably work on multiple goals if they want to. It doesn't matter. The key here is to be able to download the worksheet that you'll need to be able to help you guide you through this particular neurological level alignment for your goals. All right, so with worksheet in hand, let's start with environment. Remember, at this level of environment, we are looking at our external surroundings, including people, food, climate, places, noise. This part of our alignment is all about our 5 senses. So first, you want to look at how your current environment supports your goal and how it doesn't support your goal. And then you're going to focus on what needs to change in your environment so that you can meet your goals. Remember to focus on what you see, what you hear, what you feel, what you taste, and what you smell. Who is around you? Where are you in this environment? For example, if my goal was to lose 10 kg, then I would be considering elements of what's in my refrigerator, what restaurants I go to, who do I normally eat with, what I'm eating, what does the environment feel like when I eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner. I also might look at exercise. Where do I go? Do I go to a gym? Do I exercise outside? Do I exercise inside? And who is there? In these environments, what supports my goal and what doesn't? What do I need to change? If I have a stash of junk food in my office, at my home, or in my car, then maybe these are the things that need to change. If I hate going to a gym, but I haven't done exercise in months, then maybe I need to find in an environment that I can go to where I like to get some exercise. So when I busted my big toe on my left foot, I couldn't do yoga anymore. So this was my take it anywhere type of exercise. I started swimming, which covered the arm work that I wanted to make my arms and my back stronger. But it's not portable. It's not like I can bring a swimming pool with me. I also started exercising more on a stationary bike because I was still able to exercise even though my toe was broken. And this allowed me to increase my leg strength, but it wasn't also portable. I started running again once my big toe actually healed, but I've had past problems with running on a consistent basis, and I have injuries in my foot due to that. So that was a little concerning to me. And I also don't like running in foreign places. So I don't like going to big cities or places that I've never been to before and I'm out running by myself. So I've started learning Pilates and specifically mat work so that I can take it anywhere. And this is how you look at your environment to see what supports you and what doesn't support you in your environment and what needs to change. All right, so that's environment. Now it's your option here to be able to stop the recording, go and do that work on your worksheet and come back to it whenever you're finished and go on to the next level. That's what I would recommend. If you want to do it another way and just go ahead and listen to the rest of the video, be my guest. Whatever is the best way for you. Let's look at our next one, which is the behavior. Our behavior, again, is our physical reactions to our environment. This level has to do with your habits and rituals and reactions that don't have a conscious strategy. The question we ask at this level is what? As in, what are you doing? So first you want to look at how your current behavior supports your goal and how it doesn't support your goal. And then you're going to focus on what needs to change in your behavior so that you can meet your goals. Remember to focus on what your habits are, what your rituals are, and, well, what's your behavior? In the early example of losing weight, if I was going to look at this from a behavioral level, I'm going to investigate habits I have around eating and exercise. Do I have habits and rituals around exercising every day? Or do I have habits and rituals around rewarding myself with food when I do something good? Or do I eat the same time every day? And is that supporting my goal or is that hindering my goal? Do I eat snacks? And what do I eat? So, do these things support my goal or they hurt my goal? It's now your turn to look at your behaviors and decide what's supporting, what's not, and what needs to change. Next, we have our capabilities. Remember that our capabilities have to do with our mental strategies that guide our behavior. These are the ones that we are going to select and change our behavior according to what our external environment is. And you'll also remember that at this level we're asking the question how, as in how are you going to do it? So first, you look at how your current strategies are supporting your goal and how they don't. And then you're going to focus on what needs to change about the strategies so that you can meet your goals. Remember to focus on how you adapt your behavior to changing environments. What are your strategies? In an early example of losing weight, I wanted to talk about what is the difference between me working out at home versus me working out while I'm traveling, or if I'm eating at home versus I'm at a restaurant with my friends. Do I have strategies for my behavior around all of the different environments I'm dealing with every day? Do I have strategies that support my goal or hinder it? Am I consciously creating plans for my behavior in advance Or am I just reacting and allowing things to happen without having any control over it? And does my planning or not planning, does this hurt or help my goal? So there's an old saying that says, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So just think about that with regards to your capabilities. So it's your turn now to look at your strategies and capabilities and decide what is supporting your goals, what's not, and what needs to change for you. Beliefs and values. Now, these are the judgments about ourselves and the world around us. We assign meaning to our behaviors and to our environment at the belief and value level. So what do you believe to be true? This probably will be the most important level for a lot of you. There may have been things that have come up already for you, such as, I can't change this environment, I live with other people I can't change, or I've tried changing this in the past and it didn't work, or I don't have the time, or whatever belief you have. This is important because you must bring awareness to your beliefs about your strategies, about your behavior, and about your environment. What meaning are you assigning to those areas? What is important to you about those areas? And what beliefs or values support your goal and which ones don't? And what needs to change? In the earlier example of losing weight, I'm going to look at what environment means to me. What beliefs do I have about it? What is important to me about my environment? Is it important for me to have a personal trainer to push me? For me, I don't believe in personal trainers, so I think they hurt more than they help, but that's just me. The question really becomes is, does my belief about personal trainers help me or hurt me from losing weight? So another thing I'm going to ask myself is, can I exercise on my lunch hour? Do I have a belief about that? Is my belief based on the fact that I'm a girl and I wear makeup, so I can't possibly shower and change and be back at work in the time that the lunch break is at? Do I believe that I can't go out and have a quick bite to eat because I have a vegan diet, or a paleo diet, or just moderation, and which diet is best for me? That's a belief system. And do my beliefs about what diet is best help me or hurt me from getting to my goal? Okay, it's your turn now. Look back at your beliefs and values and decide what's supporting your goals, what's not supporting your goals, and what needs to change. Now we're at identity. This is a collaboration of our beliefs and values, our capabilities, and our behaviors. It is the perception of who we are as it relates to the greater whole and our role, our purpose, or our mission. So who are you as it relates to your goal? Who are you becoming? What aspects are you letting go of? What parts of your identity support your goal, hinder your goal, and what parts of you need to change? For my losing weight example, do I identify myself as a thinner person? Do I identify myself as a runner or a yogi or a gym girl? Do I identify myself and say, I'm vegan, or I'm paleo, or I'm fat? Or do I say to myself and others things about my identity that support my goal? Or do I say things about myself to myself and to others that hinder my goal? And what elements of my identity need to change, or how I speak about myself to myself and others? What needs to change? So it's your turn to look at your identity and decide supports, hinders, and what needs to change for your goals. And lastly, the greater whole. This is the sense of being part of something bigger than yourself. what could be your greater whole as it relates to your goal? How could you have a greater whole that helps you to achieve your goal? In my losing weight example, could I be a part of a bigger community effort to get people healthier? Could it be part of my environment, such as where I live or where I work? Could I join an association or a community event that is part of the goals that I have? Think about these kinds of areas of greater whole, or even just the area of your beliefs, your faith, your religion, and how might that support and help your greater whole. So take a look now at all of the areas of your greater whole and decide what supports you, what hinders you, and what needs to change. And lastly, as we always do in NLP sessions, we ask the question, what did you notice? So what elements of the neurological levels work really well for you and what doesn't? So sometimes in the past, we have had people identify the fact that some areas are harder for them than others. If you've written more in certain areas, maybe that's where you need to start looking at developing some capabilities or strategies within those particular levels to be able to change and shift those levels for you. Another thing is that a lot of people, when taking this type of aligning goals, sometimes their beliefs and values come out in sort of unexpected ways. One time I was even asked about if we are, as we grow older, if it's harder for us to change, then how can we make these changes in our life and align our goals neurologically? And of course, it's a belief system that starts this sentence. It's a belief system that starts this inquiry, because it's a belief that as we grow older, it becomes more difficult to change. Now, that's a belief that's hindering the person to make changes in their lives. So again, I would maybe challenge you to go back and look at all the different levels. You know, what are the ones that maybe are a little bit more stumbling blocks for you that you need to go back and challenge yourself to even look at more specifically or more detailed, so that it allows you to be able to go into the neurological levels and really align them to the direction and the goal that you're trying to get to. And feel free to do this with as many goals as you like. Remember, one of the reasons why this is so important is that without having alignment of your neurological levels to your goal, you'll end up self-sabotaging your goals without even having conscious awareness that you're doing it. As you learned through this process, there are a lot of unconscious logical levels. So you want to be able to really hone your attention into those things and not get swept away with maybe old patterns or old programs of behavior. All right, that's my challenge to you, and so I hope to see you in our next NLP video. This is Lindley Craig, and I do appreciate you spending time with me, learning more, developing yourself, and building a better you.